Yeah, absolutely. So I would say always, and it can't even be like an always. It really depends and varies per business. But like there are people that say higher income activity virtual assistants first. And there are people that always say, hey, hire admin people first, right? To get rid of some of that in working in your business type of thing, right? And I would say it really depends on which one's the priority for you, right? So I would say hire what is a priority, right? If you feel that sales is a priority right now, then hire somebody in sales. If you feel that, I'm working too much in my business and I'm sending too many emails or doing too many calls or whatever the case may be, then hire somebody that's designated for that, right? So for a new business owner who's looking to hire a VA or is probably afraid to hire a VA because of the stigma that VAs have,
Right.
they work harder than us in the United States. That's just a fact. Look, I'm talking to you all every single episode about how to be able to create a six-figure digital empire, and some of y'all haven't taken action yet. Y'all just, for some reason, life haven't slapped you in the face yet where it's like, yo, I'm tired of being at the place that I'm in right now. I'm tired of working my 9 to 5. I want to create a business. I want to become an entrepreneur. I'm tired of working for someone else when they don't even care about me. Look, I have something for you. I was working a 9 to 5, literally not even a year ago, actually it's going to be a year this year that I have been able to leave my 9 to 5 to be able to come to you guys and show you how I was able to leave working at Papado, 101 Steak, Ruth Chris, all hospitality places, y'all, to now being able to break 100K months. Literally, this is what happened. Let me tell you. I was able to break 100K months in 6 months, to be more exact. And I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to do it and how exactly I was able to do it from working a job, creating multiple 4 to 5 figures while working my 9 to 5, to then leaving my 9 to 5, to then scaling my business. Y'all, I'm going to show you how to fund your business without using your own money. There's so many things in this book that I could be charging tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm going to share with you how exactly I did it with pennies of the dollar. It costs $10, y'all. Worst case scenarios, you learn something more and profit off of it. Okay, so look, click the link, thedigitalempire.ebook.com. Get the ebook, y'all. You literally just get the ebook.
Okay, so today I have Marcus, the chart slayer Turner, here to share some six-figure sauce. I know you have a really interesting business that you run with your family, your mother, your brother, your stepfather. That's kind of unique, that to think that everyone will work really well together. How did this, I guess, start?
I'm known as Chart Slayer because I'm in the financial literacy space, from the Forex and now into life insurance and credit repair and funding and all of that amazing things. And now we're into the virtual assistants, and all of it is under the family business, right? So how we kind of are able to work is that we have our own roles, right? So I'm the COO, my mom's the CEO, she's the visionary, I'm the integrator, right? My brother's the CMO, and my dad's in the systems and IT. He's with the metaverse. So he's dealing with that side of how all of the business kind of runs. We have so many different departments. It's you can get lost.
Exactly. So here I am doing everything on my own, all the roles you just named. And that's pretty handy to have members of your family that can take on those chunks and really focus on that. So what led you guys to decide did you always have this family business, or was there a catalyst where you're like, hey, we're all trying to do our own thing, maybe we should be working together?
That's a great question. I think we were always bred to be in business, but I don't think we were bred to be a family business. Does that make sense? So we all wanted to have our own business, but we ended up we ended up trying to find some of the roles that we currently have outside. You know what I'm saying? Outside of work, like outside of our family, because we always have that stigma of, oh, you can't hire within the family and blah 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 blah. It doesn't work out, and but the thing is that everyone within our family is what fit the role. Our dad, we needed somebody for the metaverse. Our dad was already doing it. We needed somebody who could manage the marketing and sales team. My brother already does it, right? So like it just made sense. And then the other reason is it started with just my mom and I. Now, mind you, my brother was always involved, but he was always doing his own thing. But it started with my mom and I in regards to Forex and getting things started with Forex. And then it just happened to be where we just needed to take it to the next level. So that's when we needed to bring the whole entire family into the picture.
Okay, that's really interesting. So you guys run multiple businesses together and just basically use teamwork. So let's get into this virtual assistant business. That's really interesting. I don't think a lot of people are in the space as far as offering the virtual assistant services. So what led you guys to do, because stock Forex and charts and stuff to virtual assistant isn't really related. So I'm just curious what led you to that business model.
Yeah, so we have a coaching business. So of course we trade on our own, but we have a coaching business, and within our specific mentorship, right? He stresses VAs. You need a VA to do this, a VA to do that. Run your business on autopilot, blah, 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 blah. That type of mentality and doing things with a sense of urgency. So what we did was we hired our first VA last year. It's literally a year as of last month, a year and a month now. But our first VA last year, her name is Sabrina, and she was just doing everything. Anything you thought under the sun that needed to be done, she was doing. And we were like, she seems stressed. Maybe we need to hire another person. And so like we only hired to help our business just to relieve stress for our VAs. And it ended up being where we now have 20 virtual assistants under our business. And at this point, the business just is alive on its own and just runs on its own. You get what I'm saying? So and people just kept asking us, hey, how are you running so many virtual assistants? Who's over it? Who's managing it? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And so we had to come out with something, if that makes sense, to really explain how we did what we did. And that's kind of like how the virtual assistant business came about.
Okay, so it started as basically something that you guys needed to fulfill a need in your own business. And then you started offering these services to other entrepreneurs who had the same exact need.
Exactly.
Okay, so can you share this 6-figure framework for running a virtual assistant business? Because if they're virtual, you could probably run this business virtually too. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So how we do it is it starts off with the hiring process, right? So in order for you to even have a business, a virtual assistant business, you need an HR department. So that means you need an HR manager and you need some recruiters. I'd say minimum 2, right? 2 recruiters to start off. And those 3 people, I guess you could say, will be the people that are running your business, right? That are recruiting for your clients. And I'll get to like the marketing and how you market it in a second, but kind of like how it works is you hire 3 people, actually 4 people, because you need a customer success manager to make sure that your clients are happy, right? The relationship within you and your clients are on point. So really it's 4 people. You have those people actually run the business. Grab the VAs for the clients. And then starting off, you can either train them yourself or you could hire a 5th person and have somebody train them for you, right? I'm more interested in not being involved. So I ended up just by trial and error, just having a 5th person to just train, right? But how it'll work, how you market it is you go into groups where they need virtual assistants. So for example, the community that we're in stresses that you need virtual assistants.
Right.
So you're pretty much buying your way to getting clients. You have to spend money, of course, to get in the room, but your money is now being reciprocated because everybody needs a virtual assistant. So the way that we actually grew our business to multiple six figures, and literally, I want to say, sheesh, in like 4 months, was all we did was go into communities that needed, like you can go to Facebook groups, you can get in mentorships, you can get in courses that have Facebook groups, and then just engage in those groups, become the person that is known for that space. And then people will come to you and they'll say, oh, hey, yeah, I know you do virtual assistants. You have virtual assistant business, or you give them virtual assistants, and then you supply those needs. Right. And the only way, and it's literally that simple. I'm buying my way to get clients by going into communities that need them. And so any new business or current or existing business needs a virtual assistant. Another way you can do it is go on LinkedIn. Everybody's a business owner on LinkedIn. Right. Hit up every person on LinkedIn, get LinkedIn Sales Navigator, hit up every person on LinkedIn and say, hey, you're going through this struggle. I would like to assist you. I have a virtual assistant business that helps people run their business on autopilot. If you want more information, if you're interested, DM me, or let's have a chat, right? And discuss more about it. And then you get them on the phone. Right. And then at first, of course, if you're a new business owner from a 9 to 5, right, you'll most likely take the sales calls starting off. Right. And so as you take more sales calls, as you start building this framework, start getting a sales team, that's when, you'll be able to also have that run on autopilot, and then you're no longer involved within your business. And so that's how we kind of grew the virtual assistant to multiple six figures, is just by literally buying our ways into communities. And you could do this with any business that's online. Buy your way into a community and build a team around it so that it can run on its own.
That's a very interesting concept that you said, that you could buy your way into a room, any business owner, to get new clients, because that's kind of counterintuitive. You're thinking, well, why would I spend money to get these clients? But these are some rooms with some really, high profile people who are your ideal client avatar. So you're basically, just like you would run a commercial, buying your way into running your commercial. So that's
exactly. That's
exactly. So that's very interesting. So now you have this business that started to fulfill, well, it didn't even start as a business. It just started as something you were doing to fulfill your own need. And now it's running on autopilot. You've put enough people into it, so that now it's a multi six-figure business on the side that you and your family don't really have any interaction with. Now it's kind of just completely off autopilot.
Yeah, our site doesn't even have our face on it. It's literally a faceless business. So if someone wants to do business, if somebody wants to look us up on Google, you can look us up and just get a virtual assistant, and we're not even involved.
So what does how are you charging your clients that need a virtual assistant? And then how are you paying your virtual assistant? So I'm guessing the profit is in the spread of what you're paying them versus what you're charging.
Of course. Yes. So we have two different ways that we do this, right? We have the way where we help you hire, do the basic training, find them and actually, the regular process, right? Where we help hire, find, and train your virtual assistant, right? And that runs, believe now it starts off, because they're making the prices now. Like, we're not even making the prices anymore. But last time I checked, it was $2,500 one time. So this is per virtual assistant, right? So you pay $2,500 for one virtual assistant, and the profit margin is $2,000, because you can start off with a great virtual assistant with $500 a month, right? So if someone comes to us, really, honestly, let's be real, that $2,500 is all ours. Right. Because they have to pay that $500 the next month
to the virtual assistant.
If anything, we may pay for like $50 for training, because $50 is a lot for them in that perspective. So it's like we pay them $10 a day. So out of that $2,500, we may spend $50 out of it. So it's a very lucrative business. We pretty much keep about 80 to 90% of the profit. That's the one, that's just per virtual assistant, just hiring them and giving it to them. Like, we keep most of the profit. Now, if we were to hire, train, and manage your company, this is a separate package, right? Then that's where we deduct 500 or maybe 550, including the training, every single month. So we're taking care of the payroll. You're not having to worry about, end of day reports, because we take care of that. You don't need to worry about training your team constantly, because we take care of that. Like, the only thing you might need to worry about is maybe, your workflows within your company, right? Because you might have some things, or your specific company, because we don't specialize in your company. We specialize in VAs, right? So like, there may be training within your company that you might have to do in the first 30 days. But outside of that, after we train them and they get it, you pay us, and maybe we probably, $2,000 of profit margin.
Wow.
And actually, with the managing package, it's actually $3,500, so it's really $3,000 for the profit margin.
Okay.
So it's really low expenses.
Right. Yeah. So that's really that sounds like a great business model. So where are you finding the VA?
So we're finding the VAs from so many sources. We have about 300 Facebook groups that we source VAs from. We have like onlinejobs.ph, Upwork, remote jobs. There's so many other places. LinkedIn ads. We sometimes run ads. Like, there are occasions where if we're struggling like really bad to find something for a client, we will use part of that budget, maybe 30% of that budget, and then put it towards ads to make sure that we find that client for them. Find that VA for them, because some people might want some during in the United States, or maybe Latin America, or like there are some places that aren't just in Philippines that people have preferences over. So I have a friend that that only goes Ghana. We have VAs that are in Dubai, so the last time we were in Dubai in April, we met one of our VAs, right? So that's kind of like how we kind of recruit. And there are different ways. Like, you can look up virtual assistants on Facebook groups.
Yeah. So that's interesting, because a lot of people are thinking that they have to come from the Philippines, or that most are, based in or around that area, but you're sourcing them from all over, pretty much I think you hit every continent, and you're finding quality and matching them up with the client's needs. So basically, you're like a matchmaking service for businesses. Are you helping are you helping these businesses? Like, do they get a framework as far as how to really effectively utilize a virtual assistant? Because I know I struggled with that when I hired my first virtual assistant, and I had all these hours, and I'm like, I don't know, what do I tell them to do? So you do. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we have like a SOP. Yeah, we have an SOP that we give to our clients of that role specific. We call it a role specific SOP. So this role specific SOP is, if it's an operations manager, you have an SOP designated to an operations manager. If it's a media buyer, which is like an ad specialist, you have one designated to an ad specialist. You have one designated to an executive assistant. And then what also happens is we give our clients a course. We call it a delegation course, right? So what happens is you're able to learn how to properly delegate and run softwares to have a virtual assistant business at scale. So what that means is most people only do work for one person and one person only, but you don't know how. But what if you need more people, right? There are more problems that need to be solved within your business, or a business will find more problems within their business that needs to be solved. Right. So you have to learn how to delegate at scale. So what we do is we give you a course that shows you how to delegate at scale, so you can have as many virtual assistants as us, or endless amount of virtual assistants, right? So like, some of those things are also things that we give to our coaches or business owners or company owners, so they can actually, like I said, just have what they need and know that they can fill all of those 8 hours. Like, I promise you, when you get your first VA, you're gonna find something for them to do. Like, it's just inevitable.
Right. The first one, that's pretty easy because they're picking up all the slack. But I do like that you have kind kind of like a guide in how a company could best utilize a virtual assistant. And what would you say the benefits for any, solopreneur, small business to have a virtual assistant over hiring like somebody direct, like I guess a in-person assistant?
Like, what's the difference between hiring a VA online and in person?
Yeah, I would say what would be the benefit for any business owners who are watching this and the business model may not be right for them as far as to start a virtual assistant business. Although, I don't know why, if you could put in these systems and be making six figures. Right. But, if they just want to focus on their main bread and butter business and they're weighing the pros and cons of, do I hire someone to have someone on site versus how I could be more effective with a virtual assistant? Some people, they kind of fear the virtual or people, being far away, or, how would I know if they're working? So if you want to just speak to any business owners who might be interested in getting their first virtual assistant.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say always, and then it can't even be like an always, it really depends and varies per business. But like, there are people that say higher income activity virtual assistants first. And there are people that always say, hey, hire admin people first, right? To get rid of some of that in working in your business type of thing, right? And I would say it really depends on which one's the priority for you, right? So I would say hire what is a priority. Right? If you feel that sales is a priority right now, then hire somebody in sales. If you feel that, I'm working too much in my business and I'm sending too many emails or doing too many calls or whatever the case may be, then hire somebody that's designated for that. Right? So for a new business owner who's looking to hire a VA or is probably afraid to hire a VA because of the stigma that VAs have,
right,
they work harder than us in the United States. That's just a fact. That's that. I'm just being completely honest. Unless you're an entrepreneur, of course, entrepreneurs have a different kind of work ethic, right? But like, if you're trying to really hire someone compared to in the States or out of the States, there are some pros and cons of each one. Like, I can't say that, you should hire VAs over VAs in the country. Like, or in person. It just depends on the business. I mean, events-based businesses are United States and they're brick and mortars, but VAs run it. There are businesses like that, right? Where but there are also people who have an event space that prefer in person because they like the personal touch. So it's like, it really depends on your goal at the end of the day. For me, I can only speak for myself. I hired virtual assistants because I'm productively lazy. I don't want to do no work. That's just me.
I don't think
you get what I'm saying. So I just hired. Exactly. So I was just like, why not hire a VA? And it costs less, and they're dedicated to you at the end of the day. Like, sometimes people like to go to Fiverr or even a project-based, and I would say project-based works if you're starting off, but if you're going on Fiverr, it costs you the same amount of money on Fiverr it costs you more money on Fiverr than to have a dedicated person for yourself. Because if you're looking for a copywriters are $1,500 to $1,000 sometimes on Fiverr, right, for one project. Right. If I were to spend $500 on a copywriter now, which we currently do, right, I think it's $600, I believe, for our copywriter. We can send her as many things as we want for those $600. There is no limit to how many things we can send. She does our emails per month. Literally $600 per month, and we can have an endless supply of copy. She does our emails, to our website copy, to our text messaging, to our captions on Instagram. Like, they could do anything. Do you get what I'm saying? That revolves around copy. Right. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Exactly. It really depends on what you're looking for. So I can't really say, should you go VA? Should you not go VA? Should you, it really depends on what you're looking for. I think VAs are a lot more convenient because I don't have to worry about having a warehouse to house them in. The worst case scenario that I got to spend is Zoom. That's my warehouse.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just expenses.
No, I really like one that you didn't give an all or nothing answer. So for some people, a in-person assistant might work better for your business. But as far as getting systems and having people run the back end of your business so that you can be, what did you call it? Productively lazy.
Yep.
I definitely like that.
I love it. That's my motto.
So you have the VAs that run your businesses and then the VAs that run other people's businesses, and you basically have the same in-house training system. So whether your family business needs another service provider, or you're just finding it for your clients, basically you're able to feed the system and be productive both ways. You can make money from it, and you can have them running all your mini businesses, of which we only really got into the virtual assistant business. I know you rattled off a bunch of them, but you have your virtual assistants running multiple six-figure businesses for your family. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. So we have our financial literacy business, which is social currencies. That's our generic, not generic, but like that's our main business, right? Virtual assistants. I like how your podcast is called a side hustle, because technically it is a side hustle compared to the money that we make with social currencies, right? But what it is that we have a financial literacy business that's split within 3 divisions that teaches credit, how to get business funding, which deals with credit repair and etc. Then how to, when you use that funding, excuse me, you use it for different investment assets, which could be a business, which we focus in that business is trading and investing. So you can use it for that. You can use it to get into life insurance policies and infinite banking and all that. But like, that's our main bread and butter. So yeah, all of the VAs run that business. The only thing we do is just, teach it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But we're starting to delegate that too. So soon we're going to start delegating the coaching aspect, because I believe, shout out to Coach Kelly, she said that she has a subscription-based model where one of her coaches come in once a month and she's not even involved. What's going on, family? You guys already know I appreciate you for checking out this episode. So you guys know that I've been trading and building high-level skill sets for years now. You see me on my Forex journey, my stock investment journey, my portfolio journey, a day in the life of everything. And so what I want to do is I want to give back to you. I want to make sure that you all learn everything that's in my brain. So what I have done is, specifically in regards to skill sets, is I've created a course, like a whole course. Like, this is the best thing that I've ever come out with since sliced bread, right? It's a Forex course on how exactly to build wealth, create high-level skill sets, and I want to teach it to you. I want to give back. It's not even like, it's super affordable. Like, you could, like, your daughter could do it. A 5-year-old could do it. And that's what I want to help you guys do. I want to give back to you. So if you want to learn exactly how to build high-level skill sets, I want you to click this link right here. This link is going to break down everything for you and literally change your whole life. So go check it out. Check out the Trade Syndicate. Check out the way that we do things. Check out the Chart Slayer. Check out your boy. All right. See you on the next one. We don't even need to be involved in even the coaching side. Does that make sense?
It does. No, it makes a lot of sense. You guys are collecting all the checks and doing nothing. So as a business model, it's, that is the goal. Obviously, when we all get into entrepreneurship, nobody's like, hey, I want to own a job where I'm working twice as hard. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay myself. But that is the reality of being an entrepreneur. Oftentimes is you're doing twice the work and sometimes for half the amount of pay. And we're just trying to get to that point where we're the true business owner. And like you said, working on your business, not in your business. And I feel like that's the entrepreneurial trap that a lot of people don't know how to get out of. And kind of what you're saying is the answer is virtual assistants delegating or chunking different tasks to people who are charging you monthly, and they're working 40 hours a week for like $500 and $600. A month?
Absolutely, a month. Absolute 100%. We just hired a funnel builder. We hired 3 people today within our business. We hired a funnel builder, and we had a funnel builder previously. So our funnel builder, we paid him like $650, something around there, because each position sometimes varies, but most of them start off at like 500, right? But as the position like advances, like a funnel builder costs a little bit more. Right. We have a full-time bookkeeper, like that's dedicated to our space. That's 500. We have we now, since we have our marketing department is so big, we now have a content manager that now doesn't, like, we believe in quarterly performance raises. Right. So like sometimes with our content manager, because she manages an entire team, right, she gets paid more than everybody else. So it's only right. It doesn't make any sense for some people. So it really depends on the position, excuse me, but that's really like how we have it focused, and it just helps the business run better because they know where they stand, and everything is a part of each other. Everything sticks.
Right. Okay. So in the beginning, you said that to effectively start the virtual assistant business as a business, you hired the 4 people: the recruiter, the client success manager. I'm forgetting the other person. But are those virtual assistants also, or are these like actual physical employees? They're all virtual. So
all virtual assistants. Okay. Our sales people is virtual. Okay.
You have virtual sales.
The only people that is not is our closer.
Okay, so the closer is more of an employee relationship that's not commission based.
It's commission based, full 100% commission based.
Okay. 100%. So you're okay. All right. That's very intriguing. I feel like through talking to you, I realize I'm doing business all wrong. Like I'm doing way too much. Like, I want to take this productively lazy approach. Yeah, you have all my wheels spinning. That's very interesting because I should really have the virtual assistants running my business, and then maybe the clients paying the virtual assistants. And then you're basically operating all your businesses at like a net zero because it's like a wash. You have the clients paying them, and then they're doing tasks for everyone.
Ongoing cycle.
Okay, I'm really glad that we had this discussion.
So for example, I have a podcast, you have a podcast, but you use Riverside to house all of this. What I do is like ours is in person. So for example, how I use the virtual assistants to run the podcast is whenever it goes out, 2 days before the video goes out, my VAs, and I have a public relations department as well, but our VAs send the video and all the clips to the PR department, and then they would send it to the guest speakers so they can promote it before, and then they're the ones that post it on YouTube. They're the ones that repurpose the content. Anything like from this video, because hopefully I get these clips too, the whole podcast.
You will. I do have that exact same framework. I'm still like crawling as we're getting the systems in place, but I do have VAs that do handle that, but these are VAs that I basically I'm paying a company like yours, whereas you're showing me how to be the company and not pay the company.
Yep.
Like how to source them myself and put the other people in place versus being a customer of that.
Right. We have both. How I showed you was how your company does it. But we do have, so for example, what we do is, and this is a hack, right, that most people don't really do. This is just another way to get a stream of income within the stream of income, right? So the client success manager, their job is to build relationships with the client and do upsells and cross sells, right? So what we do is after 60 to 90 days after the client is fully happy with their VAs, the VA is performing at what they're supposed to be, they will upsell them to so we can teach them how to create a virtual assistant business. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it does. So you're taking your
there's
client,
always an
giving them
ascension
another
ladder.
right. Okay.
Exactly. So it builds the lifetime value of that customer longer.
So you don't lose them. So are you teaching them basically how to go get their own clients and they're tapping into your VA base? Or are you
Correct.
teaching them how to source their
Correct.
own leads? Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to have
Both.
to follow
So
back.
they have an option to use ours.
Okay. So,
They have an option to use ours, or they could learn it themselves.
and you
So
said,
how that would work is,
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, you can explain it. I was just jumping ahead of myself because I want to take the course.
Oh no, so oh yeah, so how it would work is if we were to upsell, let's say for example, her name is Kimberly. Let's say if she were to call you and upsell you, you would say, yeah, I'm interested in having my own virtual assistant business.
Right.
You would hop right back on with the same salesperson that had the discussion with you the first time.
Right.
Right. And they would give you the options of, okay, do you want to, would you rather use our virtual assistants to help you source your virtual assistants, or do you want us to teach you how to do it within your own business?
Right.
Most people want it within their own business because they want to be independent. Let's just be real. People prefer independence. So what happens is we'll teach them how to, after the sales call is done, you're going to go right back to the customer success manager and still build that ongoing relationship with her. So it's like you are buddy with both the closer and the client success manager. Does that make sense? And then you're also being coached by a VA on how to build, and it's usually our director of operations, right? So we're still going to be in the picture, saying hello, blah blah blah, popping in, but like you're being taught by our director of operations, the person who actually runs the business. Like of course I'm the COO, so I'm over a lot of things and I'm involved, but at the same time, she's the one really running the business. Right. Like while we just came from a 7-day retreat, I can't remember, 7-day retreat just now. We came back yesterday. And I wasn't in contact with any of the business while we were there because my director of operations was the one that was handling everything.
And so you were the director.
So she's the one that's going to be teaching you. I'm the COO.
Okay. All right. So you're
so
over her.
Exactly. So like kind of how it works is you have like the employee, the manager, the director, and then the chief.
Right.
So like that's kind of like how I have our business lined up, just like a corporation.
Right. I was gonna say
I believe in like running
like
it that
a
way.
corporation, but these are yeah, it's just like a corporation. There's really no distinction. It's just in how you source these people and kind of create their own departments, and you fill up these departments with other assistants, and you're able to have your clients.
I wouldn't say I fill up the departments. Yeah, yes and no. I wouldn't say I fill up the departments like that. I would say, of course, you have departments that we need, but I'm not looking at it as, okay, I need to fill up the department. What positions do we need to fill up the department? I'm looking at it backwards. I'm like, we need certain positions, and then we figure out what department do they go to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of like how we do it. So like the funnel builder, we needed a funnel builder. It just so happens that goes under systems and IT. We needed a graphic designer. Okay, well that just so happens that fits under marketing. Like we don't just go with, okay, we have a marketing department. What are the branches within marketing department do we need? And then we hire that. We just hire off necessity. We hire off what we need, and then we put them in place. So like and our goal is to have a 45-person team, right? That involves having a marketing director, sales manager, marketing manager. We're working on having a Filipino attorney as well. So what that does is it helps protect us and protect our VAs.
How so?
Right? Because there's laws that you need within that business.
Will you have to do that for each country that you have a presence? Will you need a localized attorney? Because I'm sure there's no virtual assistant attorneys. These are like real pay us attorneys, correct?
Yeah, of course. We'll pay them however we need to pay them. But yes, in every country we'll need a attorney in that country, for sure. We haven't had the necessity to need one in that country, but it is something that I agree that we'll need one eventually as we get bigger. Most people prefer the Filipinos, so that's really what we've stuck with at the moment. But
as
like
far
I said,
as
I have
where
had
you're
friends
sourcing
that
your
go with
virtual
other ones.
assistants. Okay,
Correct.
that's what I'm usually hearing. So when you said a few of the different, like Ghana, Dubai, I wasn't aware that they were even, not that you're virtual, so you could essentially be anywhere in the world.
Be anywhere.
So that's definitely a very interesting story of how you came upon this 6-figure side hustle, and basically how anyone can really do the same as well, where you have a full team that you can utilize and also sell, like, I guess, kind of arbitrage their services as well.
Exactly.
Employee arbitrage. I love it. So
that should be a shirt.
Employee
that should be a
arbitrage.
Shirt.
Okay, well, run with it. I'm sure you could have a VA do all the back end of starting a t-shirt.
Absolutely.
So it's that easy once you have a team of virtual assistants. You're kind of like any business you want to run, you kind of have the infrastructure in place. You're just the idea, people. And then you're getting the implementation down. So that's, I feel like I've been doing it wrong this whole time. So I do appreciate this call. Okay, so we are going to
we always learn.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's better to learn now than never. So we are going to get into the Rainmaker round, where I'm going to ask you a few questions to get your feedback, your humble feedback. So, and I know this first question is going to be good. What's the last conference you attended, and what's the biggest gem you learned?
The last conference was the Circle of CEOs conference. And what I learned at that conference was, you definitely need to delegate more and get on more podcasts. Get on more podcasts for sure. That's what I learned a lot more about that with that right there.
So give me a little bit of insight into as far as getting on to more podcasts. Who did you learn that from, and what is the purpose behind it? And I do appreciate you being on my podcast, and of course that fits right in with what we're doing.
For sure. No, I would. So at the Circle of CEOs, we hosted a podcast. So you know how we would go to events and you see podcasts like live, people would just shoot podcasts there. Right. We did that for everyone that was there, and we realized that people love being on podcasts. And so it made me think, man, why am I not on podcasts? So what I started thinking of was like, okay, what avenues can I go to and take in order to get on more podcasts? So that's when I really was just like, man, like I'm dropping the ball here. There is so much money within podcasts that I'm not really, getting. Like I'm not using that specific marketing outlet yet. And I'm just thinking like every Circle of CEO is on every single podcast.
Right.
So for me, it just made me really think that I need to get on more podcasts. And then I believe Neo came to was on one of our podcasts. Neo was on our podcast at the event, and he had said, man, yeah, I hear y'all are doing virtual assistants. Y'all need to delegate more. Y'all don't need to do anything. And so that's when it was like, okay, we might need to hire more people. Right. And then just think about new ways to really build our business.
That's brilliant. So you're actually going to all these events and you're interviewing the people at the events for your podcast. That's really brilliant.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. I'm going to have to try that. What book are you reading right now?
I am reading Meeting Design. It's right back there. A book to how to run effective meetings. I don't think that we're taught this. Like, a lot of people think, we need to run meetings. But like, do we really know how to run an effective meeting? Like the design aspect of how to run a meeting, we don't. Most people don't. So I just started reading a lot of meeting books.
That's very, I want to send that book to every single person who ever made me attend a meeting, because I would say that you are right. People do not know how to run a meeting. Sometimes I'm sitting in these meetings and I'm like, what is the purpose of this? Why am I here? Why are they here? What are we even talking about? I say that all the time because I'm in, we won't drop any names, but a lot of these meetings are a waste of my time.
Irrelevant.
I don't really glean anything from it. I'm just left thinking like,
not every meeting is needed.
I'll never get that time back. Yeah. And you're reading about the, I guess, art and science of holding meetings.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Exactly. What's the book called again?
Meeting Design.
Meeting Design. Okay. I think that is a really good read for all entrepreneurs and business owners, so you don't get stuck in the trap of hosting pointless, worthless, time-wasting.
You got beef.
I got beef with these meetings. Yes. I feel like my time is being robbed. And
she said it's being robbed from her. Oh my God.
I only speak what I've experienced. So that I really like that that's an actual concept, and I will be sending these books. I'm not joking to a lot of these people like, hey, here you go. Holidays are coming up. Read this book.
It's the best book ever.
Really, read this book and don't invite me to another meeting until you read the book.
Dang. She said don't. Oh, you got real beef with these meetings. This is too funny.
I know. I yes, I do. And I feel like there also needs to be a book for people who need to know how to attend meetings and ask questions, because I have beef with those.
Oh, there might be a book. I didn't even think that deep.
Like, have you ever been
that's a good idea. I want to see if they got one.
And, you'll just get all these people asking questions about this one outlier situation that they're in, and they want to go into great detail, and nobody cares. So please stop asking your worthless questions in these worthless meetings and wasting the general public's time when they should be working. You're really robbing yourself, because I could be more productive if I wasn't in this meeting. And I hear this, I'm not alone in this. I know this. Okay.
This is way too funny.
All right.
You should clip that specific part and repurpose that part all over the place.
I can't do that, because those are shots being fired at specific people, and they will know, like, oh, you're talking about me. Like, yes, I am talking about you and your meetings. No, I'm not going to do that. You have to watch the podcast and reach out to me directly about why I feel the way that I do. And I'll give you a lot of constructive criticism and feedback. And hopefully we could work towards more productive meetings that serve a purpose and have an outcome and aren't just endless rambling.
This is way too funny, y'all. I swear to God, it's funny. Oh
Usually
my God.
The book question is not this interesting, but I do want to get the book. I do feel like they're, it's a loss of productivity, and about recapturing that productivity and using these meetings to facilitate a stronger, healthier company. And if you're not going to do that, call it off. Don't have one. What are words you live by?
I'm sorry, I had to recover. Words I live by is, I would say, productively lazy. That is a word that I live by for sure. I would say another word that I live by. I would say, dang, what was it? There's a word, persistence, like aggressively persistent, or consistent. That's the word, aggressively consistent, right? I think that all of us want to be great people or do great things, but our habits don't reflect who we want to be. And so, like, I think that those words, productively lazy, meaning if I don't personally have to do it, I can delegate the task to someone who actually can do it. But I need to make sure that they do that consistently. Or if I have to do it, I have to do it consistently. And sometimes not every single task that I'm doing is going to have an immediate ROI. So, like, I feel that is definitely those words that I abide by for sure.
Yeah, I really loved it when you said the what was it? Productively lazy, because that's really it's an interesting way of saying time freedom, which is what we all want. Nobody wants to be doing all these, when you start running a business, you realize how much goes into it. It's always easy to be on the outside looking at your boss like, this jackass, I could do this. And then when it is you and you're like, oh my goodness, I have so much more respect for what they built, because it's not as easy when you're the only one. So the more that, the more you could be productively lazy, the more you're a business owner and the more you could actually expand, because you can only grow so large if you're
by
yourself. So I like that delegation and the productively lazy, and then the consistency, because it's really easy to do something 1 or 2 or 3 times and be like, that didn't work. Let me try something else. And it's really just, like, I didn't have 1 million views my first podcast or my second or my third or, ever. But it's about being consistent to give yourself a chance to get to that, whatever your magic number is, whatever your goal is, monetary, likes, whatever that is to you, it never happens overnight. So if you're not consistent, you're just giving up on yourself. So I
agree 100%.
So give yourself one piece of advice you wish you knew at the start of your 6-figure journey. This could be any 6-figure business. I know you guys have quite a few, but I guess if you could go back to the beginning, what would you tell yourself?
Sheesh. At the beginning of my entrepreneur career, I was a musician and I wanted to make beats on YouTube, right? And make money from my beats. I wish I knew about virtual assistants, because I would have had a virtual assistant make all of my beats and I would never need to do anything.
It sounds like you still can do that. You can have your online YouTube feed.
You're right. I can still do that. And that is on the checklist. We are actually hiring for that right now.
That's really
so we are.
So you've come full circle to being the one who wanted to make the beats to, like, I don't need to do that. I could just hire someone and take the credit, which is what all great business owners do. So how can we get more information? Where can we follow you at? How can we get a virtual assistant from you? How can we get your virtual assistant course? Like, guide us. Because I know a lot of people are going to want this 6-figure business. It doesn't make any sense. If you already have a business, you're basically sourcing employees and finding a way to cover the expenses so you can run your business for free. And once you get up there, you're making a profit of both businesses. So I really think that makes so much sense.
It costs you nothing to run this business. You could start it tomorrow. It costs you nothing. You get what I'm saying? So I would say you could find me anywhere. If you want to get a virtual assistant and really work with us in our company, even though we're faceless, right? You can go to payrolltopaychecks.com. and you could book a consultation call. You'll be able to meet our HR team on that site as well. And you might be able to check out some blogs, right? Read something about us, something around those lines. If you want to get in touch with me, my Instagram is Chart Slayer. So ChartSlayerFX. I'm everywhere on that platform, right? So Chart Slayer everywhere. You could find me. And like I said, man, this costs you to start this business. It literally costs you nothing to start this business.
That's the amazing part about it. So are you selling your course on the open market, or do you have to go through
you got to go through it first? You got to go through it. You know what? That is a good idea. I should probably sell it openly when I think about it. I probably should. That might be a great idea to sell it openly.
It is a great idea.
I might do that. So what we'll probably do, because it's literally a mini course. It's not anything, but this course is I would say between 15 minutes to an hour long or whatever each video, because it's super extensive, right? So I would say what I'll do is I'll drop a link. I'll give you a link, Sabrina, to anybody who's interested in getting the delegation course, right? And I'll give them access to that course, and I'll give you a discount code. Only this is the first time I ever did this. I ain't do this for anything else. Okay, do this for anything else. This isn't even out to the public. Okay, so I'll create it, and then I'll give you the link, and then what we'll do is we'll have that down in the description box so people can get access to the delegation course.
Give the people what they want, and we want to start a six-figure virtual assistant business that we could be faceless absentee owners of. That's what I want. I want to be productively lazy. I want everyone doing all the work for my businesses while I reap the profits. So that's, to me, living the dream. So, I need to get that course so I can learn the steps to doing that, because it just makes brilliant sense. So make sure you follow Marcus. His family is a really amazing entrepreneurial family. I love your mom. I need to interview your mom because she's such an inspirational but also hilarious person.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mom. So shout out to Moms, even though she threatened to kick me out of the house in order to create a business. So,
sometimes you need.
It wasn't like what everyone thinks. We were threatened.
Your mom, I can see how she could be intimidating. So I think she's so much fun and stuff, but she looks like she can flip the script real quick on you, and you have to do what she says because.
100%. No choice.
She is just that boss, woman who, I definitely aspire to be, to have that entrepreneurial family. I need to whip my kids into shape. I have my own son who needs to be threatened. So she offers a service. I don't think I'm as intimidating. I don't have the same effect.
Yo, she said I need to threaten him now too. No, I would say it works. What I say, everyone is like us. I don't know. I don't know, but I would say it does work. Cash App you. Crazy.
All right, but
that's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. I really learned a lot. I hope you all take advantage of this offer. Make sure you drop in the comments how much we need this course in case he starts slacking and forgets that we need that link. We need the reminders. So make sure you let him know that this is a service he should have. This is another stream of income y'all shouldn't be sleeping on.
Yeah, I learned it. We here for it. I definitely create it and give it to you all.
Perfect.
For sure. Well, I got to put it together so it's to the public.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I'll give it to you.
You wouldn't even have to do it. You would have your virtual assistant. You could just text them now.
You thought I was going to do it? All I'm going to do is the welcome video and the outro video. Everything in between is what they're going to do.
Yeah, I love that. So we all have to learn to be more productive with our time. So we could be, time freedom. productively lazy. I love those words. All right. Thank you, Marcus. I can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Sabrina.
Hey family, thank you so much for checking out this episode. I really do appreciate it. So I get this question a lot of, hey, how do you get your family on board on everything that you're doing? Your family's everywhere, you're traveling everywhere. This brand of family is huge. And so I want to teach you guys how to create a family business and build a true legacy for your family. And in order to do so, if you want to learn exactly how I do that, I want you to check out socialcurrencies.net/family. Actually book a call, see exactly how we can assist you in creating wealth for your entire family and breaking that generational curse. We are strongly against generational curses, and we want to break generational poverty and build generational wealth, and not just wealth, but true wealth. And so I want to help you guys. Go ahead, tap in. Again, the site is socialcurrencies.net/family, and I will see you on the flip side.